let's talk about hives. You know those incredibly itchy raised bumps that just seem to pop up out of nowhere? They're super common, but also kind of mysterious. So in this explainer, we're going to dig in and really uncover what's going on with that itch.
I mean, has this ever happened to you? One minute your skin is totally fine, and the next you're looking down at these red, splotchy welts that have just appeared. If that sounds at all familiar, then you are definitely in the right place.
So first things first, what exactly are these things? Let's get a really clear idea of what we're dealing with.
Okay, so the fancy medical name for them is Urticaria, but we all just call them hives. And they are exactly what they look like, itchy, raised welts on the skin. They could be red, pink, or even just your natural skin color. And sometimes, yeah, they can sting or even hurt a little bit.
Hives are kind of like little shapeshifters on your skin. They can be tiny little dots or huge random splotches. They almost always show up in groups, and they can actually merge together, change their shape, and spread around. And what's really weird is they can vanish from one spot and then just pop up somewhere else. A single welt usually doesn't stick around for more than a day. And here's a little trick. If you press on the center of one, it'll usually turn white for a second.
Okay, so what is actually going on inside your body to make this happen on the outside? It all comes down to a chemical overreaction. Think of it like this. Your body has this alarm system, and when it bumps into some kind of trigger, could be anything from a food to just stress, it sometimes gets a little overeager and pulls the fire alarm. This release floods your system with chemicals called histamines, and it's these histamines that cause tiny blood vessels to leak fluid, which then pools right under your skin, and voila, you get that classic swelling and itching that we call hives.
And the list of things that can set off this alarm is, it's surprisingly long. You've got your usual suspects, right? Allergies to things like nuts, milk, or pollen. But here's the kicker. Hives are not always about allergies. They can be a reaction to a medication, a sign that you're fighting off an infection, or even be triggered by physical things like stress, wearing tight clothes, or even a sudden change in temperature. Honestly, a lot of the time, you never figure out the exact cause.
Now, it's super important to know that not all cases of hives are created equal. They generally fall into two different categories based on how long they stick around. And that can give us some clues about what's causing them.
Really, it all boils down to timing. If your hives show up and then clear out within 6 weeks, that's called acute hives. This type is often linked to a specific trigger or allergic reaction. But if those welts keep coming back or they last for more than 6 weeks, then we're talking about chronic hives. And this kind can be trickier because the cause is often a lot harder to nail down, and it might even be a sign of some other issue going on in your body.
Okay, I need everyone to listen up for a second, because this is really, really important. While most of the time hives are just super annoying and uncomfortable, every once in a while, they can be a warning sign for something much, much more serious.
We're talking about a life-threatening allergic reaction called anaphylaxis. And the key here is that it's hives plus something else. So if you have hives and you have trouble breathing, or your throat or tongue starts to swell, or you feel nauseous or dizzy, that is a medical emergency. Don't wait. Don't try to tough it out. You need to call 911 immediately.
Okay, so with that serious warning out of the way, let's get practical. You've got hives. They're driving you crazy. What can you actually do about it to get some relief?
So, what you do next totally depends on what's going on. If you've just got a mild, itchy case, then at-home remedies are a great place to start. If those hives have been hanging around for more than 6 weeks, it's definitely time to see a doctor. And just to say it one more time, if you have hives plus any of those severe symptoms, like a swollen throat, call 911 right away.
So for most mild cases, you can actually get a lot of relief right at home. Taking an over-the-counter antihistamine is step number 1, because it works by blocking that whole histamine reaction we talked about. And of course, try your best not to scratch. A cool bath can feel amazing, and adding something soothing like colloidal oatmeal can be a game changer. Just one big tip, stay away from hot showers or baths because the heat can actually make the itch and the swelling even worse.
All right, so you've gotten through an outbreak. Now the big question is, how do you stop it from happening all over again? Let's talk prevention. Really, the best defense is a good offense. It all starts with figuring out your triggers and then, avoiding them. If you know you're allergic to something, that's your #1 priority. For some people, allergy shots can be a really effective long-term solution. And even simple things like wearing looser clothes and trying to stay out of super humid places can make a huge difference.
Okay, and this leads us to a question I bet a lot of you have been wondering about this whole time. Can you catch hives from somebody else?
And the answer is a big, clear, resounding no. Hives are not contagious. It's your body's own internal reaction, so you absolutely cannot spread it to another person. Now, there is one little catch. If your hives are caused by something that is contagious, like strep throat, you could pass the infection, but not the rash itself.
You know, when you really think about it, hives aren't just some random itchy nuisance. They're actually a message. They're a pretty clear signal from your body that it's reacting to something, whether it's on the outside or the inside. The real trick is learning how to listen to what it's saying.
So maybe the next time you see those welts pop up, instead of just feeling frustrated, take a second. Your skin is your body's biggest messenger after all. So the real question is, what is it trying to tell you?